big show for you guys tonight. So we're getting on here a little bit earlier than usual. So hopefully I can crank out 2 lives tonight, right? But we got a big show for you right now. We got a lot of stuff in this video. We're doing brutal backstage fight stories. I've got 5 brutal backstage stories for you. And I have a 6th as a bonus one. You know, if we have time to get to that, we'll get to that. And before we get to these, and just so you know, I got the official backstage fight story from when Felony knocked out Vanderlei Silva backstage. So that's going to be the #1 main story we cover tonight. And Felony was living with me while he was training. My girlfriend bought me this. This is, well, she made it. She bought it. She made it. She created it. She selected these. These are real silver. So shout out to her. She's a Chinese genius. She's also a TikTok celebrity. And, you know, her videos get like 1 to 10 million views. So we're trying to get on her level, all right? But Felony was staying with me for his last fight for bare knuckle, where he knocked that dude out pretty viciously and broke his jaw. And we got to talking about the backstage legendary rumor whisper in the night of, did he really knock Vanderlei Silva out and what exactly happened? So we're going to get into all of that. Speaking of Felony, we got these Fight Circus shirts. So first order of business, man, Fight Circus tees. Right here, you can get your Fight Circus tees. Shout out to Fight Circus, home of the freak show fights. And they put all of Felony's mugshots and his Cash App, so hit his Cash App on the back of this shirt. This shirt is banned by bare knuckle. Felony wore this like this to bare knuckle. He wore a white one when he was dressed as the racist Burger King hat guy from the airplane, that meme. So if you haven't seen that walkout, look that walkout up after you watch this live. And we had a red piece of tape through here because they would not let him walk out in the Fight Circus. This shirt is banned. You want the banned shirt? Hit me up on King David MMA on Instagram. I will get you a link to the Fight Circus store. We're in the process of getting the Fight Circus whole merch thing going right now. So shout out to Fight Circus. Big sponsor. We love them. Freak show fights. Go watch some crazy shit at Fight Circus. Furthermore, if you know a coach who's awesome and you're like, man, what's the most valuable thing I could do for this dude who's done so much for me? The best thing you could do is send that coach to Studio Millions. Studio Millions will pack their gym. I've done $2 million in gym sales in 18 months. I did all the marketing. I did everything, right? And I systemized it, and now I'm giving it to coaches and gym owners as a blueprint that they could just plug and play their name, their gym location in there, and it's all set up for them. So if you want to help your coach pack your gym with students who pay, stay, and refer, hit studiomillions.com. Furthermore, shout out to Zevia Energy Drink, because I drink it and I want them to pay me for it. I would like to be the most sponsored athlete YouTuber out, right? So we're going to run up the sponsorship opportunities. Zevia Soda, it's great. Zevia, send me some money, guys. Furthermore, I'm putting together a brainwashing curriculum on how to be successful. It's called Godlike Confidence. It's exactly how I went from white belt to black belt. It's how I went from 242 pounds to 150 pounds. It's how I became an amateur world champion. It's how I became a pro MMA champion at the age of 44, the ripe old age of 44. It's how I won 6 professional MMA fights after the age of 45 in the first round without getting hit. It's how I got my dime piece girlfriend, man. You know, it's what every skill in life comes down to one meta skill, which is confidence. And when you connect into your higher power and you tap that godlike confidence, anything's possible. I'm putting out a course on exactly how to do it step by step. If you want it at 90% off, you can pre-order it. DM me on Instagram, King David MMA, and I will hook you up with a payment link, and then we will hop on the phone and I will work with you one-on-one to get your confidence from where it's at to the fucking stratosphere, bro. And yeah, when you have unshakable, unbreakable confidence and you're walking calm to that cage and that cage door locks and you are cool and collected, it's an amazing feeling. And if you could do that, you could do anything in life. So I want you to have that level of success in your life, because I believe that if I have a torch and my torch is lit and you have a torch and I light your torch, it does not put my torch out. It gives us both twice the light. Let's go, guys. Also, speaking of my girlfriend, look, man, we got to pay the bills around here, guys, okay? I'm trying to run the sponsorships up. You know, we got Fight Circus. You know, we're working on the Zevia deal right now. We got Godlike Confidence. We got Studio Millions. And my buddy, he's making 83 G's a month on YouTube, which is why I switched completely over from Instagram to YouTube, because he was showing me exactly how to do it. And my girlfriend's getting 10 million views on some of her TikTok videos. She's getting paid as much as $1,000 to do a quick little TikTok. And if you want to learn how to do that and you want to get paid to post, like I get paid to post, like she gets paid to post, like he gets paid to post, then DM me on Instagram and I'm going to hook you up with the blueprint. So now that we got all of that out of the way, let's get into it, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, start chatting, because I would rather have this be a dialogue rather than a monologue. I'm trying to connect with you. Let's have a conversation. Hit the chat and make sure your notifications are on so you know when I go live, because I go live sporadically. No telling what I might do. I might just hop on and tell 5, crazy backstage stories, right? In the middle of the day, right before I go to train. Right? I'm about to go train. I'm going to go train and I'm going to go teach. But before I do that, I want to give you some crazy stuff. So here we go. So fight story number 1 is the legendary Felony Charles Bennett versus Wanderlei Silva backstage knockout fight, right? And people have heard whispers in the night about this. People have heard rumors. Man, did Felony really knock out Wanderlei? But bro, how could Felony, who's like essentially, Felony fights at 145. Felony does not weigh 145. Okay, Felony is, in my opinion, a 25er who doesn't care to cut weight, right? Some of us cut weight, some of us don't. So Felony will, pull up 139, 141 and eat and eat and eat to get his weight up to 45, to fight at 45. And now people's biggest question is, how did someone who's probably a 35er or a 25er knock out big ass, steroided ass Wanderlei Silva? And it doesn't make any sense. But Felony was living with me and we were sparring every day. We would spar when he first got here, we would spar a couple rounds. By the time he was leaving, we were sparring 8, 10, 12 more rounds. And man, everything you heard about that dude is true. That guy can crack. And keep in mind, I'm at Extreme Couture. I'm on the pro team. I train with the best fighters on the planet. I'm talking UFC world champions. I'm talking top 10 guys in the UFC. I'm talking people who have won multiple belts in multiple organizations, multiple time Bellator champions. Marab pulls up. Aljamain Sterling pulls up. Sean Strickland's there. We've got champions. We've got all kinds of people. We've got people that hit hard, people that are everything. You see it all. Felony might be the most powerful puncher, pound for pound, out of anyone I've ever sparred. There's 2 dudes that are in the 135 realm that crack ridiculously hard. One, his name is Kershed. He is the PFL European champion, and I believe he's in Octagon right now. He's had boxing fights where like the guy's like trying to box, and then Kershed, boom, hits him once with the big gloves, and the guy's gone. Right? So Kershed's been down in fights, like MMA fights. And his coach, Dennis Davis, who's my coach, right? Like, hey, Kershed, hit this guy. And then Kershed will go out, boom, 1 hit, fight's over, right? Kershed's got power. But Kershed, he grew up in like, he grew up overseas. I don't want to say Kazakhstan, but, it's one of those like mountain countries or, and apparently like, as a child coming up, he was a cement worker, to my understanding, right? So he's developed that like lifelong tendon strength where, boom, he just touches you. Now, Felony's got a different type of power. Felony has like, pop, right? Like bang, bang, whoa, right? Like that kind of power. Where like Kershed, he hits you here and you're like, oh, I can't get hit by this guy. Felony's more like, hello, and that little movement, boom, you're like, whoa, where am I at? And Felony's super controlled when we spar, right? So it's super fun going with him because we can have playful rounds or we can have intense rounds. And when we have intense rounds, he's a dude out of everybody I do not want to get hit by. And it sounds crazy. So now with that in context, that's how it makes sense that he knocked out Vanderlei Silva. This last dude he knocked out in bare knuckle, he broke the dude's jaw, bro, with a bare hand. With these bones, broke this guy's jaw. That dude was 6'1" and like 170 something pounds. He couldn't even make 45. He missed weight. He made 150. Dude, and as someone who's made 150, I know what I walk around at, right? That dude was bigger than me. Felony pulled up. I'm guessing Felony's 5, 6, 7, 8, 6, 9. Yeah. Okay, so Felony's like let's say he's 5'7", 5'8". All right, we're gonna give him that. All right, so Felony's pulling up 5'8", maybe 141 pounds, and putting hands on people. So when you hear the story that Vanderlei was barking at Felony, and Felony put him to sleep backstage and bounced his head off the locker room floor, that is 100% true. That happened. And there's even a video of something that happened later with another Brazilian dude. The same backstage where this dude, Felony's getting into another fight backstage, and this dude puts him in like a triangle and chokes him, right? We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the knockout, okay? So, to this day, Vanderlei Silva wants to get that one back, right? This is all true. Vanderlei Silva wants to get it back. And when you see Felony in his highlights, and he's calling himself the N-word and says he runs fast, where he's talking to Vanderlei, that's because of this knockout. This brutal, vicious, one-hitter quitter knockout backstage. Vanderlei was trying to punk Felony because Vanderlei's a big dude and thinking Felony's the dude that's just going to back down. And Felony said, hello. And next thing you know, Vanderlei said, good night. I can confirm it. I talked to Felony about it in depth. It's 100% true. Now, the next crazy backstage story. This is one of the most brutal backstage stories that this is probably my number one that I've actually seen, right? I got a couple. Oh, dude, man, I just remembered another one. The one. Okay, this is the second craziest one. The other one happened to me. We'll get to that in a second, right? So now we've got 6. I'm not going to do the joke again. Okay, I'm going to do the joke again. 6, 7 stories to get through tonight, right? We're on story number 2, brutal story number 2. So these dudes were out there. They're fighting at heavyweight and bare knuckle, right? And they brought in one dude because this dude is kind of crazy and like, if you didn't know anything about bare knuckle and you were like, what's the quintessential dude that would fight bare knuckle? Like, what's the avatar of someone who's going to fight bare knuckle? It would be this dude. He's like loud, white dude, kind of talking like a black dude in the back, right? You know what I mean? Man, y'all know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, yeah, man, we here to bang, man. You know what I mean? Talking crazy in the back, right? Wearing a whole lot of jewelry. Think the jewelry was fake. The jewelry was fake. Okay, you know what I mean? And he's in the back acting crazy. And, you know, I'm in the locker room with this dude, and I'm like, dude, bare knuckle's kind of wild, right? Because you've seen, when you're back there, right, if your guy's not fighting till later, well, then you see the remnants of the previous fights. And oftentimes, these fights are like brutal and bloody. So now this dude's back here. Wow. I remember this boxer was cracking. He's like a little, 35. Crack. And I'm like, bro, that guy hits hard. Crushing pads. I'm like, I feel sorry for whoever fights this guy. The boxer goes out and loses, right? Because he didn't understand a collar tie. And in bare knuckle, you can collar tie. So as fast and as athletic as he was, it didn't matter. This guy comes back defeated, busted up. Tears in his eyes. His corner's like consoling him, heartbroken. Guy over here's bleeding. This guy won, but he's getting, blood coming out of his face. This other guy's getting stitched up. And man, this heavyweight fight is on. And it's the white dude who talks like a black dude who's wearing all the fake bling. And he's out there. And he's getting pieced up. His face is like falling apart. He looks like a raccoon and both his eyes are swelling up. It's brutal. I'm like, please, bro, somebody throwing the towel on this guy, right? This guy's taking You know, the other dude's big, man, big heavyweight in shape. This guy probably shouldn't be fighting at heavyweight, but he's like a little like, I just want to bang, you know, one of those dudes. So like he's not in shape really, and he's just kind of like, I can't wait to get hit. I love getting hit. Like just, you know the type. And he's getting hit. He's getting what he claimed he wanted, and his face is changing in real time in front of us. And it's the third round. And he's brutally, he may have got dropped like 3 times in this fight already, right? Brutal. The ref should stop it. Corner should throw the towel in. But guess what, man? We're bare knuckling, bro, so we don't do any of that. The other heavyweight who's in shape, who's got good movement, light on his toes, working off the jab, right? You know what I'm, like doing it all. Breaks his hand on this dude's head. And now he can't jab. So he's uppercutting in twos, you know what I mean, with his free hand. Time's running out. His opponent is just a human punching bag at this point. The heavyweight that's winning breaks his other hand on this dude's head. And now he's got 2 broken hands. They're swelling up and he can't throw punches. And he cannot continue. The dude who was the human punching bag won the fight because the dude that beat him 3 rounds to 0 and dropped him multiple times, who turned him into a human pinata and changed his face, rearranged his facial features, that, like, the human punching bag won. Now we're in the back, bro. We're in the back. This dude looks mangled. Mangled. And he's happy he won. And I'm like, bro, first of all, from my understanding, bare knuckle pays a flat fee, so you don't get a win bonus. So, dude, you got mangled. You were gonna get paid the same anyway. This guy's like ecstatic about the win, like, yeah, I'm tough, right? And I'm like, bro, dude, that is not the attribute that you want listed in your credentials box. Is like, can take a beating, will get dropped multiple times, and just hold out till the other dude breaks his hands. Those are not the attributes you want listed in your attribute box, right? But that's what the dude had. He got the dub. The other guys in the back, they come to like thank each other after the fight and show respect. This dude's got broken hands. Dude. Now here's the crazy part. He couldn't wipe his own ass. The dude beat the guy up for multiple rounds, broke both his hands, goes home with the L, is the better fighter, clearly, right? The other guy's mangled, but the dude who won every round but lost the fight due to the broken hands can't wipe his own ass. That's how crazy bare knuckle is. That's how crazy bare knuckle is. So if you ever have a chance to go see a bare knuckle fight, sit close, because these dudes are swinging on each other. Swinging. Any punch can change the fight either way. If the punch lands, it might drop the dude it lands on, or it might drop the dude that threw it. It's crazy. I got another crazy story. I was cornering a teammate out there, man, and he had a rough ass fight, a rough fight. And this is the reality of the situation. My boy lost his fight. He got cut up. He got hurt, right? And you want to check on your teammate and your friend because you care about them. You're flying into enemy territory. Oftentimes you're fighting the local guy. And bare knuckle is different. The way they organize it, because it's so brutal that they don't have you meet with your fighter directly after. They take the fighter directly to the the medical tent. It's like either a room or a separate space that's curtained off. And you're not allowed to be with your fighter. So I can't even check in on my guy, right? I'm peeking through the curtains and he's over here. And they're literally like, he's laid out, right? Just lost a fight. Nobody to console him. Dude, I'm trying to check on him. And they're like trying to escort me out for walking into a section that I'm not supposed to be in, but I'm walking in anyway to check on my guy. And he's bleeding out of his face and they're stitching him up, you know what I mean? And I can't even get to him, right? And now it's causing a scene, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just going to hang out here. And you're in the back, man, and people are walking out with high hopes and coming back with like medical emergencies. And if you're cornering and your dude's busted up, you might not even get to check in on him. Like, think about how brutal it is that you go out there, you put your heart, you put your face, you put your brain, you put your hands, you put your body on the line. It doesn't go your way. And the one person you're in this city with can't even check up on you. That's how brutal the fights are backstage, right? So, like, you see it in the octagon in the UFC, or you see it in the circle and bare knuckle. But when that fight's over and you're thinking about the next fight or the next person's walkout or the ring card girls, there's a dude in the back getting his face stitched, and his corner, his dear friend, his teammate, no one can check on him. He may have family that's concerned about him, texting me. I can't even let them know, like, oh, he's with the medical people, like, and then you gotta like say something positive, like, oh man, he seems in good spirits, right? Like, it gets so sketchy back there, man. So anyway, you want to get even more sketchier? Okay, guys, I'll do it. Let me take a drink of this Zevia energy drink. I like to get about 500 to 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day. So fun fact about me, this has 120 milligrams in it. I've got another beverage whose name I will not mention that's got about 160, 65. That I already drank one of those. I drank one with 200 milligrams of caffeine. So I like the all natural ones. So Zevia is actually my favorite, even though it doesn't have the most caffeine. They should make the King David Zevia Plus. The King David Zevia Plus. The XL, the King David XL Zevia with the, let's go, 333 milligrams of caffeine. Zevia 333. That's what we need, man. Put that together. Whew, I'll drink that on every freaking live, man. Yeah, we're going viral with that. But on a whole other subject, I'm gonna start shotgunning Zevias for fun and profits. But yeah, so another crazy story is I have the most amazing, absolutely wonderful, perfect for me girlfriend right now. But in the past, I used to corner women because women fight too, right? Okay, I know it's crazy, guys. I know it's crazy. And one time, my student was fighting, and this student is a very violent person, especially for being female. And this fight was really sketchy because they brought her in to lose, as oftentimes when you're flown in, they bring you in to lose. And the opponent was a world level, like a internationally competitive judoka chick and an amateur champion. I believe she was an amateur world champion, and now she was professional. I believe she was undefeated, but not like a lot of fights, like maybe 2 fights or 1 fight or something, right? And my student broke her face. I'm talking like broken nose, put her unconscious, beat on her, like the ref's pulling her off, right? And she didn't hit her late or anything like that, but like the ref, whatever, man, right? So she got some shots off while the girl was fucked off, right? And now we're in the back, and I'm like, see, I told you had power, and then she's still like self-deprecating, like, oh, I don't know, I mean, maybe I just got lucky, right? And I'm like, no. And this is what you got to do as a corner. And what I'm about to tell you is fucked up. And I'm not saying it's for everybody. I'm just saying this is what I did. I told her to be quiet. I said, listen. And now we're separated by a thin, dark, it's like a black curtain, but it's like kind of translucent. So as the lights are on, you can see like shadows slightly through it. This is now that I'm not in the moment, this is kind of like fucked up and hard to say. But fuck, dude. Like, it really is a brutal sport, man. This is like kind of hard to say. This is kind of hard to talk about. And fuck, I feel bad saying it, man, because it's still women, right? Like, dude, they chose to fight. These girls chose to fight, but I'm in the back, and this girl doesn't know where she's at. She's crying, like crying. like a girl crying, not like some dude like, yeah, man, I'm gonna be all right, all right. You're like, not like that. I'm talking whimpering, crying, doesn't know where she's at. They have to hold her down because she's concussed. She wants, wait. She's got an accident. And I'm not trying to make fun of her. I'm just trying to give you guys like the like you're there type of experience so you can understand how maybe this will give you some reverence and some respect for the sport that you may have had it, but like now it's really gonna like crystallize it for you on what actually goes on. And why a lot of us take this very, very seriously. Um, and she's crying and why can't I stand up? Why can't I breathe? And they're like, no, you gotta stay down. And she's like, I don't know what happened. And she's like, and I'm like, yo, you hear that? That's how much power you have. That's how much power you have in you too. And we're sitting there. This is fucked up. We're sitting there listening to this confused, semi-conscious, concussed girl with a broken nose swallowing her own blood and crying because she can't stand up because she's wobbled. And they have to hold her down because she's afraid because she doesn't know what happened. And she's trying to get up and walk, but they know if she walks, she's going to fall. And we're in the back. And as a coach, I had to use this as a teachable moment for my student as to how much power she has in her hands. That's how brutal it can get backstage. And that's women, right? I need like a little second of meditation after that, man. That like going back in time into that story, like pause, no homo. Like that's kind of like emotionally like charged for me, man. That was a rough one. That was a rough one because as much as like you want your student to win, right? Like it's still a human being and it's still a woman, a female, a girl, right? Across the curtain from you. And you're hearing her cry in pain and confusion and fear. That one still hits me to this day, guys, you know? That one still hits me to this day, you know? And fuck, man, I kind of I don't even want to tell this next story, man. Like, I'm going to tell it to you guys. I've got a couple that will go a little longer. Fuck, dude. Like, fuck, why did I think of this as an idea for a video? I'm like borderline, like emotionally exhausted already. But, yeah, the last two were rough, man, because both involves actual students of mine. When I was there, and one went our way and one didn't. And, you know, having been around both sides of it, like you still can have some compassion. After the adrenaline and you're in the back, you have compassion for the other person because it is their hopes and their dreams. It is their physical body. It is their brain, right? It is their health, you know? And this next one, you know, everybody wants to talk about their triumphs, right? Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. So this one, I was the nail. This one is pretty brutal as well. Yeah, so I went into a fight with a lot of things that if we discussed it right now would sound like excuses. So we're not going to bring any of those up. Take nothing away from the person I fought. They did what they had to do on the night. And even me in a compromised state, I fought in compromised states before, and I've brutalized people. You know, I've sent people to the hospital. I broke a guy's ribs in a fight, broke a couple people's arms. You know, so I'm not Mr. Fun to fight, right? Regardless of whatever I was going in the fight with. I'm sure that guy had stuff too. So like that's why when people are like, oh, I had this going into the fight, it's like, dude, your opponent had shit too, right? You got to perform, right? And in this fight, I didn't perform up to my capabilities and he performed well. And, you know, this one is brutal because I got dropped off the jump, right? I saw this dude and I'm like, this dude looks nervous. I'm going to punk this guy. Now, I broke my own rules, right? Which is the learning lesson that I hope if I tell a story of a loss, that you guys will get something out of it. And so that at least I didn't lose in vain. At least me suffering trauma can help you if you choose to fight or some other area of your life, right? And so I have a system that I adhere to every fight. And when I adhere to the system, I'm undefeated. And when I don't adhere to the system, problems happen. But I have an issue, which is I lean towards ultra confidence, right? Let me put this Fight Circus shirt down over here. And make sure you like and comment and subscribe, man. Hit the chat, guys. Make sure you turn the notifications on so we can have combos. That way you get a notification I'm on, and then we can be on at the same time, right? So hopefully this next story, somebody can learn something from my pain, right? And you know, I have a post-fight speech planned, right? Because I like to do post-fight speeches. And this would put me 6-0 after the age of 40. And this will put me 6-0 in my last 6 fights. And this would put me, because this is on UFC Fight Pass, right? So I'm calling out Dana next. I'm going to make history. But this dude across from me looks a little nervous. He looks a little shy. He looks a little timid. And due to the stuff that I was going into the fight with, I want to adjust my game plan, right? And this has nothing to do with that. But like, let's say my foot was fucked up going into this fight, right? So I switch my stance and I do a different opening than I would like to do based on the film that I've seen on this opponent. So I had a game plan. Something happened. Now I switch my game plan last minute, right? And because of his demeanor, I'm like, I'm going to pump this dude. Right off the jump, I feint a calf kick and I put it down. Bang, bang, I'm on the floor. So I feinted the calf kick, right? And this dude puts me down. Now, I'm on LGBTQIA plus street, pause, right? Because we used to call it the Q, and now if you call it the Q, that's an issue. I got a little visitor in here, but yeah. So I'm on that alphabet street, right? The rainbow flags are swirling around my head as I'm wobbling trying to get up, and not really, but you know what I mean. American flags are here, man, and bald eagles, dog. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm walking like I'm from San Francisco or something at this point, like trying to get my bearings back. And, you know, it's all bad at this point, right? Because right, like under 5 seconds in the fight, I'm already on my ass and I'm concussed. And I'm like, oh, okay. I usually can take a very hard hit from somebody. And this dude hit hard enough, but he's not the hardest dude that's ever hit me, right? Like, I've sparred Brad Tavares multiple times. Brad hits hard, okay? Strickland is much bigger than me. So when I'm level changing and Strickland knees me directly in the face, right? Like that is a hard strike when the dude's walking at 230 off not being in training camp, right? Like that's a big situation, right? A knee to the face on a level change. So I'm like, dude, what's wrong? Why did I just get rocked like this? And I don't want to let my hands go because I got to keep them on my brain to stay conscious, right? So now, instead of me walking this dude down, this dude's walking me down, right? And this is all predicated on the fact that I got away from the exact footwork that I wanted to do for this particular opponent. And I did something that I would never recommend anybody do. Like if you were my student and you were like, hey man, I'm going to open this fight by feinting a calf kick, I would forbid you. I would forbid you. I would say never do this. Never do this. Yeah, me, you know what, man? I got this dude. I'm going to punk this guy. Feint the calf kick. He's going to back up. I'm going to fucking body him. You know what I mean? Wrong. I'm on the floor. Okay. I'm like, okay, I got to get through the round, right? I put him in a Thai plum. This dude's done Muay Thai. He picks me up with his neck. My feet are off the ground. I'm like, okay, whatever. We did a couple scrambles. At one point, he was in my guard. He picks me up, and typically, I don't care if I get slammed because I'm just going to tuck my chin. But my brain's already compromised at this point, so I have to let go because I don't know if I can sustain the slam even with my chin tucked. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm having all these recalculations going on in my head. This dude, hey, that guy should have got me out of there in 30 seconds. It's 4 minutes later into the fight. I'm still here, and I'm talking shit to him. I'm like, you pussy, that's all you got. Boom, and he hits me again. I'm like, oh, man, you hit like a bitch, right? Talking mad shit. I'm like, I'm going to get through the round. And now my corner says something to me like 20 seconds left, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm on the cage. I'm surviving. And I'm in my head, I think, I'm going to back this dude up. I'm going to change the momentum of this round. He's going to go back to his corner, having hit me with everything he's got. And he's going to go, fuck, bro. Now I'm rocked. And I'm going to catch my second win. I'm going to get my brain back in the corner, right? And then I'm going to come out and I'm going to point fight and I'm going to take round 2. That's my plan. And then round 3, I'm going to break this dude. So I go, okay, I got to get one off. And now I do something again. Okay, let me ask you guys a trivia question. What beats looping punches? Straight punches. What beats looping punches? Well, okay, let's do it like this. What beats wide punches? Tight punches, right? So in my thought process, to put this dude on LGBTQIA++ minus street, right? I throw like a lunging rear hook, and he beats me with a tight left hook on the inside. Boom. I fucking faceplant. Bang, right? And I'm like, I just got to survive another, let's call it 10 seconds in my head, right? I'm like, I'm going to get through the round. This guy comes to hit me. The ref stops it. I'm like, dude, and I've been mad at the ref before, having been stopped like a decade ago. But this is the first time that a fight has been stopped against me. You know, like I've stopped a lot of people. This is the first time that a ref has jumped in on me in a decade, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm not even mad at the ref because I'm like, I did get dropped 3 times, you know? There was 16 seconds left in the round. I made it to 4 minutes and 44 seconds. And now this gets into some... Do you want me to start to sound like a crazy hippie? 444, right? Sequential numbers. In my head, because I didn't go into that fight with the spiritual connection that I should have had, that supersedes my physical body, about the injuries and issues I was having that I'm not going to talk about because they're excuses, right? If I would have connected at a higher spiritual level and realized that I'm not my body, I would have superseded my physicality. But because I didn't do that, and I allowed myself into a negative, not a completely negative, but a more negative vibrational state, because I'm thinking, woe is me, I'm going in this fight with these issues, right? And now I'm vibrating on a different frequency. I attracted more of that frequency, get myself KO'd 4 minutes and 44 seconds into the first round, right? And it's like a sign from God, like, hey, vibrate higher, bro. Or maybe I'm nuts. Or maybe I'm right. So anyways, the brutal part about this is not getting dropped 3 times. It's not getting face planted. It's not being beat up by a dude who, good for him, man. But like, we're different vibrational creatures. I believe that, like, I was coming there. I'm supposed to smoke that guy, right? Didn't go my way, right? But because I'm Hulk Hogan's nephew, now the media is going to be brutal to your boy. The media is going to be brutal to me, right? I'm like, so now the headline is Hulk Hogan. They don't even say my name. Hulk Hogan's nephew gets brutal faceplant KO'd. Hulk Hogan's nephew embarrassed on UFC Fight Pass. Hulk Hogan's nephew, blah, 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 right? Like, I'm like, yo, hey, it's all good, right? Live by the sword, die by the sword. I talk a lot of shit. Smoke a lot of people, bring it up, right? Oh, man, that dude, he fought a UFC veteran to a 3-fight decision. I smoked him in 3 minutes, right? I still I still hype up past fights. You know, I bring it up, right? Like I keep track. Okay, so fine. They're keeping track now, right? The media is trying to get clicks. I mean, look, I'm gonna title this video something crazy, right? I like clicks too. You ain't the only one who likes clicks. I like clicks too, bro. Right? So now they're click farming me, which you know, that's the risk you take, but it's brutal, right? Because where were they at when I was on a 5-fight win streak? Where were all the Hulk Hogan's nephews looking invincible? Hulk Hogan's nephew defies the odds. Hulk Hogan's nephew reversing aging. Where's all that at? Where's all that when I'm 5-0 in my past 5 fights? I don't get hit. All first round finishes. I send 4 of those dudes to the hospital, right? That's how brutal the game is. Okay? So, okay? That's live by the sword, die by the sword. So hopefully you guys can take something out of that if you have a game plan that you believe in, stick to your game plan, right? Believe in yourself. Don't start switching things up. Don't allow yourself on a lower vibrational frequency. Vibrate higher. You know, you're not your body. You're a spiritual being. You are an energy field operating in a larger energy field. You know what I'm saying? And you perceive yourself as physical because you have 5 senses. You know what I'm saying? But like when you get to the subatomic level, it's like vibrations and energy. And everything's energy. This table that I just tapped on, not really there. There's more nothing in that table than there is table, right? There's more nothing in there than there are molecules. There's more nothing, right? But it's vibrating like this. So it appears, because you have vision, to be solid, and touch, so it feels solid. But it's energy. I'm energy. You're energy, right? How am I transmitting this through the ether to you on a box? Through something called Wi-Fi, right? Go touch grass. Go get in the sun. Go breathe. Connect with your higher power. Buy godlike confidence from me. We're going to get you right. Okay, and you know what? You guys want it? Let's go. We're going to do some bonus stories. Bonus story. So yeah, this is another kind of crazy one where this one I won, but the fight isn't the brutal part. It's before the fight. I'm out in Montana, and I have a teammate, and he and I became friends very quickly, right? I was at a previous gym. I met this dude at this new gym. Me and him just hit it off. And I'm hyper confident, and I talk a lot of shit, right? I talk shit. I like to talk shit and back it up personally, right? And at this point, I'm undefeated in my last few fights. There's a lot of hype and energy around me. And now my boy, who I have a lot in common with, sees what I'm doing and the energy and the attention I'm getting. We both train at the same gym. And he's talking mad shit. So we're going on radio interviews. I'm saying what I'm going to do to my opponent, and he's saying what he's going to do to his opponent, right? And now we're like these two dudes who came in, the city slickers from Vegas, right? Me and my boy, and we're here, and we're from Extreme Couture, and what are you going to do about it, bro? You know what I'm saying? We walk around like, hey, like we're varsity, and you're like a JV bench warmer. You know what I mean? We'll stuff you in the locker, bro. We'll give you a noogie and a wedgie, dude. Bro, that's your girl. You know, like, bro. You know what I mean? Like, we're walking around like that because we're like that. Well, the issue is you got to be able to back it up. So my teammate, and he and I, unfortunately, are no longer friends. He had a little bit of a spiral, started doing a little substances that made me, you know, kind of make you think kind of crazy. Anyways, me and him got into it, blah, blah. That's another story for another live. And we can tell that story on another live, but not tonight, guys. Not tonight. I got to go train. I got to keep the main thing, which is being excellent at martial arts. But so he goes out right before me. Like, I'm the main event. I mean, yeah, obviously, right? Like, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know why I said that to you guys. You guys were just, it's obvious I'm the main event. You know what I mean? Like, come on. So the main event is in the staging area. That's me, in case you didn't. Yeah, I'm saying. God-given jawline. You know, God's favorite. I'm anointed. I believe I'm made in the image of God. And I believe you are too. And I believe when we tap into that, anything's possible. But my boy's out there and he's fighting, right? Let me take a sip of this Zevia. Send me some money, Zevia. Send me bags of money and a bunch of energy drinks, and then make the 333 King David extra large Zevia brand with the 333 milligrams of caffeine, and I'll drink 3 of them a day. All right. So my boy gets brutalized, right? This is my friend. Like, I'm in the back because they stayed you behind the curtain while the fight before you was going out. So he's the co-main event. He gets his orbital broken. He's bleeding. And he has his freaking sternum broken. They're like wheeling him by me. My friend, who I'm in Montana with, enemy territory again. We're flying in to fight dudes from the region, right? Like, we're not from here. This is my teammate. We are very similar in our talking to the camera type shit, right? Like, over the top, boisterous, some might say. Man, look at the brace. My girlfriend is the best, man. Shout out to my girlfriend. You know what I mean? But he's being wheeled back by the medical professionals, by the paramedics on a stretcher. I look over, I see my friend, my teammate, bleeding, can't breathe good, broken orbital, face swelled up. They wheel him by me on a stretcher, and then I hear, King David, you're up. I feel a hand on my back from the commission to walk forward. I walk through the curtain, my song and the lights hit me. And the last thing that I just saw is my teammate being sent to an ambulance, can barely breathe, has broken bones, a broken face, and is bleeding. And I gotta dance my happy ass on the way to the cage and put on a performance, and I go on to smoke that dude in the first round. That's the stream. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notifications. Love you guys. Peace.